Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game. I've been waiting to do these for a little while. As you know, I have been travelling recently. If you're a subscriber to this channel, if you're not, please do it. 80% of you are not. This was my segue into asking you to do that, please, because I'm really close to 2,000, and that would be pretty cool. Today I'm going to be going over the first of 4 starter decks for Battle Spirits Saga. They have been absolutely destroying us with reveals. We have the full first 4 starter decks revealed at the time of this recording, and we're getting reveals from the first set every day for the rest of this month. So again, hit subscribe if you want updates on those as we get them, or join my Discord server for more regular updates as they will be posted there as soon as they come out. But man, these starters are looking really, really exciting. Before I get started though, I do just want to say one thing in terms of the quantities. If a card is common in the starter deck, which I'll show you in the bottom where it says that, you get 4 copies of it. If it is not common, you get 2. So you are going to need 2 copies of this starter deck, and you're going to need to. There are multiple cards in each one of these starter decks that are just going to be staples in basically any deck of that color, unless the power level of set 1 is like, you know, ludicrously high. But there are I'm assuming there are a number of very, very good cards here. So let's go ahead, let's get started with this starter deck review for red. So this is a color I am somewhat excited about, but I am more excited after reading this card. So we start off with the Xray from this starter. That basically is super rare for Bandai's other games. So this is just going to be that sort of one. Although weirdly not that many 4s per starter. But anyway, so this is a 6-drop. You can reduce it down to a 3 cost, which means you can basically put it in at level 2 at cost, though you do want to be getting this at level 3. So 8 for that with maximum reduction. When summoned, regardless of level, however, select one of your opponent's spirits with 3,000 or fewer BP, or one of their nexuses, and destroy it. I think this 3,000 or fewer BP is going to be very relevant against yellow, but that Nexus effect is going to be relevant against everything. As you're going to see as we go through both this starter deck as well as all the starters, every single deck is looking to play multiple Nexuses, because every single one of them has been absolutely crazy, pretty much, or at least there's been one that's been pretty crazy per color so far. So that is a highly relevant effect, but the fact it's when summoned is also highly relevant for reasons we'll discuss when we get to the white starter, but don't worry about that for now. And the level 3 effect, while the spirit attacks, confront your opponent must block if able. So this is a very powerful removal tool at level 3. Swinging for 10k is huge. It's getting over basically anything, but it is very expensive. I think the fact that you can just play this down for 4 though at level 1 and just be removing stuff makes this a very, very powerful tool indeed. And I think this is a fantastic cover card. Yeah, I think this is really, really strong, aggressively costed, and yeah, very nice. Then we have got this rare, which is another absolutely crazy card. So 4 with 2 reduction. And when you summon a Star Dragon Spirit card, you count each symbol on this spirit as 2 symbols when calculating the cost reduction. So this itself counts as 2 cost reductions to everything else. So this is a highly efficient card in that sense. So, you know, if you play this out for a reduced cost of 2, then you're going to have 4 symbols on the board, which at that point, that's basically all you'll ever need for reducing costs. When the spirit attacks at level 2 or at level 3, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Star Dragon Spirit card from the real cards to your hand and return any remaining cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. So as you can imagine, this is incredibly good. Being able to, every single turn, potentially be adding those cards to your hand. Very, very powerful. Excessively cheap at level 2. Because, I mean, you play this for 4 and then there's no summoning things in this game, so you just swing and you replace it. Obviously, losing it would suck. And it's quite small. 4k is not very big. But yeah, I think this is another very, very powerful card. Seems like a really easy inclusion in any of these Star Dragon-based decks. Then we've got Imperial, Thunder Dragon, Siegworm, Zen and Zod flashbacks here. This is 6 cost, but again 3 cost reductions. While the spirit attacks at any level, it has Confront, so we're seeing this as like a theme here for basically ensuring that you're able to remove your opponent's spirits. And during your attack step, all of your spirits with Awaken gain Confront. What is Awaken? We will talk about that in a little bit, because another card of these is going to have it. This is a little bit bigger in terms of stats, but yeah. Then we've got Rain Needle. I see this card potentially being quite nice because it's free. Obviously, you have to put 1 core onto it, but you can play it out for free. And so it's essentially 1 core just to have a chump attacker. And, you know, any attack that hits is taking a life, so this is potentially good, but I'm not convinced that Red is really going to want to be playing these kind of really cheap bodies. But it is a Star Dragon, so if you need that sort of count, that might matter. Then you've got Quicksand Dragon. This is 3 with a cost reduction of 2. And I think this is at level 3. This is maybe okay because you're paying at max reduction 4 for a 5k, which seems all right. But yeah, again, as with most vanillas, I think especially with the power level of this game in general, I think these vanillas are not going to see play at all. Moonbow Dragon, 4 with a construction of 3, Flash, and Awaken. So Awaken is you move any number of cores from your other spirits and place them onto the spirit. And when destroyed, effects are not triggered by this effect. That's because it's I believe it's called deletion or something. It's a separate game mechanic when a spirit dies due to having no cores on it, rather than when it dies due to battle. So that's just something worth noting. But yeah, so Flash, I believe, lets you just put it into play. So you know, this is potentially very, very good. The reason for that is if you've just got a massive thing, your opponent's killing it anyway, you can flash this in for 1 and just yoink all the cores off it so they're not going nowhere. Obviously, you know, it's not as if they're going nowhere. You're going to still have access to them. You're kind of reducing your available mana, so you know, it's a bit of an odd one, but yeah, I think this is a powerful effect. I don't know how often you'll really want to be using it, but it's, you know, the fact that you can kind of just make this a 6k for free is, because you've already invested that, is quite nice. Blade Dino Parasol, this is 4, you can play that for 2. Level 1 and level 2 it has Confront, forcing your opponent to block, but at level 2, when the spirit attacks, you may pay the spirit's soul core to draw a card. So we see here, red, the first use of a soul core here. When we come to the main set, we're going to be needing soul cores for multiple things, but at the moment, this is one of the main uses, and yep, I have no issues with that. The only downside is you're going to have to sort of overpay, right? So you're going to have to play, you can play this for 2, then you have to put 4 cores onto it, so you can pay off the soul core to draw a card, because otherwise it'll drop down to a level 1. And then because then you're being really inefficient with having an extra core on it. So that does suck a bit, but this seems like a decent effect. A Blazing Boar. This is a 4 with a 1 construction. When summoned, select a red spirit from your trash and return to your hand. This seems pretty good. The fact you can just play it out, and, you know, ultimately this is just going to be a chump attack you can throw away. It's very unlikely to be worth any kind of investment at all, but being able to get back these red spirits is really good. Do not sleep on the ability to just recycle your really powerful boss monsters or really powerful consistency tools. This is a great card. I don't know how much play it's going to see come main set, but I think this is going to be really good in this completely non-existent starter deck only meta, because it's just not, you know, but that's not a thing. But you know, in lower power level things, games are much slower, so cards like effects like this are much better. Then we got Dragon Trooper. This is a free vanilla. While this attacks against 2k. So actually, you know, you play this for, you put 1 core onto it, it's free, and then you swing it to 3k. That's actually not too bad. That's reasonable, and if you make it a level 2, which is only 2, then it's a 5k, and that is actually quite good. So this might be one of those you know, smaller guys that actually really is quite good. But it's a Dragonoid, not a Spirit Dragon, so that's worth pointing out. Dragno Shock Trooper. This is a 2 with 1 cost reduction. Flash and Awaken with the same effect. So this is kind of the same as the Moonbow Dragon, but if you'll notice with Moonbow, they cost the same if you have the max reduction available. So I feel like you're mostly going to be going with Moonbow just for the bigger stats. But, you know, maybe this ends up being better. This is also a Dragonoid, so those traits do matter. And then we've got Dragon Captain. This is just a vanilla. It's fine. Again, I'm not convinced we're going to be seeing vanillas in most decks. Okay, now onto the Nexus. Scorch Battlefield. So this doesn't require any cores when you play it immediately, so you can just throw it for 2 if you've got those 2 cores on the field, 2 symbols, if I remember the name of them. During your attack step, all your red spirits gain 1k, so that's quite nice. And then at level 2, draw a card when you reduce your opponent's life. That's very powerful. Level 2s are going to cost 2, of course, but I think that's a really, really good effect. Notice it's not once per turn, so if you are able to deal, you know, 1 to 3 life, for example, in a turn, this is crazy. But, you know, as a continuous value card, this is something you would like playing early. It's going to draw you like 5 cards over the course of a game. Like, that's kind of good. Well, I guess 4 of those are the only ones that really matter, but yeah, this seems very, very good. And obviously having multiple out means you're going to be drawing 2 or 3 for every single time you deal the damage. So yeah, this seems pretty good. Then we've got Star Altar. This is a 3, but you could play it for 1. Level 1, during your attack step, when one of your spirits with a soul core on it is destroyed, select one of your spirits and place all destroyed spirits cores onto it. So this seems a lot better than this whole like Awaken Flash shenanigans thing, because I put this down, yeah, my opponent knows about it, and it is vulnerable to removal, and it does require the soul core being used. However, odds are anything I'm investing enough into is gonna, especially with the main set, you're probably gonna be throwing a soul core onto it anyway, right? So this is not like a soul core. I don't think is a massive issue if I'm investing enough that I care about putting them onto another one, you know. That matters. But even if I don't, like the fact I can just use my soul core as a way to just be like, okay, well, you know, I'm just going to start slinging around my cores so I'm not being inefficient. I still think that's really, really good. The fact is basically you play it for 1, this is fine. At level 2, which requires 3, when one of your Star Dragon spirits is blocked, you may exhaust its necklace to refresh it. That is also really, really powerful because, notice, a lot of your big Star Dragons have Confront. They force a block, right? So if I swing with my massive guy that's, you know, like 8k or whatever, you block it, sure, now I get to refresh it and then swing again. Very, very good effect for that sort of board control, board removal. I think this is a really, really, really powerful Nexus. Then we've got Charge Draw. This is a draw 2. And at flash speed as well, select one spirit that gains 2k during this turn. Yep, this seems pretty good, pretty damn good. You might see this played in other stuff, though 4 might be a little bit hefty for a draw 2, so little bit of doubt on that one. Because in general, my understanding is multicolored decks are quite rare to be any good, and the only thing you might reasonably splash will be like stuff that doesn't really require having, you know, it's stuff that's cheap enough that you don't really care about the reductions, or that isn't massively messing with your game plan. And then we've got a couple bursts. So we've got Landmine. This is a 3, but you play for 2. Burst, when your opponent destroys your spirit, select one of your opponent's spirits with 3,000 or fewer BP and destroy it. And then you can pay the cost to activate its flash effect, which is give something 2k. This seems alright. Obviously, 3,000 or fewer BP we're going to need to see. This seems particularly good against yellow. I'm not 100% sure how often this is going to go off. It seems like reasonably often because, you know, decks do seem to be running these chump attackers. But again, you care about maintaining some sort of a board size kind of always, just so you're taking advantage of your cost reduction. So it's not that you can willy-nilly just start throwing stuff in, because if your opponent blocks it and then you lose it, then you're losing value for no reason. So I don't know, maybe this will be good. I think this is one I'm just going to have to see how the meta shakes up and how often this is actually something that you can take advantage of. And finally, we have got Firewall. So this is Burst. When you lose life, select one of your spirits against 4k during this turn, and you can then pay, and this card's cost tracker as a flash effect. Spirits with 4k or fewer BP cannot attack during this turn. So this flash seems a lot more important to me in terms of 4k seems big enough where there's enough level 1s that are at 4k and enough level 2s that are at 4k in this game. And especially when you factor in the existence of yellow, which is this like, you know, cheap kind of aggro rush deck. Just existing at all, and then the fact this also affects red, that's enough coverage where I can be like, yeah, this is probably worth playing in general because you can just end your opponent's turn potentially. So I think this is a very powerful tool that might not be used right now, but is always going to be something you're going to be keeping in the back of your mind. The burst effect is kind of whatever, but you know, it's a bonus. Though obviously, when do you want to use this? Ideally, before you lose any life. So a little bit of an odd burst effect there, burst condition. But it is what it is. So that is the red starter. Overall impressions, it looks really good. It's that kind of, you know, mid-rangey control, like, you know, sort of control-y, because you do want to control your opponent's board a little bit. A lot of your big dudes are using Confront to make that happen. But it's not super aggressive, you know, you're not like going look a face or anything. It's just, you know, sort of mid-rangey, like, you know, eke out that win. Seems fine. I think it is. I think there's a lot of really exciting cards coming though. If you haven't seen the big boss monster for red in the main set, Seagworm Nova, go over to the Battle Spirits Twitter and have a look. I'll be discussing it in a card reveal video in the future. But yeah, that gives me some real excitement for red because that card is sick. On the next video, I'm going to be discussing the purple starter deck. So if you are interested in that, please do subscribe to the channel. And like the video if you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about this starter deck in the comment section down below. And if you think I've gotten something completely wrong, obviously please let me know there. And if you want to talk all things Battle Spirits, join my Discord server, linked in the description. Also, if you're interested in One Piece or Gate Ruler, make videos on those too. So subscribe for that. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching once again, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.